Welcome to Tibet This Week, where we bring you weekly news edition on His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tibet, and the Central Tibetan Administration. These are the headlines. His Holiness the Dalai Lama attends long life prayer by people of Ladakh. Chinese police assaults sister of imprisoned Tibetan political prisoner, latter attempts suicide in Tibet. China undertakes mass detentions in Tibet during His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday celebrations. Central Election Commission issues clarification on procedures for 2026 Tibetan general election. Sikyong embarks on official visit to Tibetan settlements in Himachal, Pradesh. Tibetans celebrate India's 79th Independence Day. Kalon Gyari reinforces Tibet advocacy in the United States. An estimation of 50,000 devotees gathered to offer a long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama at Shiva's Hill teaching ground in Choklamsar, Ladakh last Sunday. Ladakh's Tikse Rinpoche led the prayer ceremony that was offered jointly by the Ladakh Buddhist Association, Ladakh Kompa Association and Sonamling Tibetan Settlement. At the congregation, His Holiness reflected on the difficulties he has faced due to China's forceful occupation of Tibet, but does not hold animosity towards anyone. His Holiness further spoke on contributing to the flourishment of Buddha Dharma in the world, earning the title of spiritual leader and scientist's growing interest in learning from Buddhist philosophy. The day before, His Holiness gave teachings on the 8 verses on training the mind and the 4 mindfulness. Kuki, sister of the imprisoned Tibetan political prisoner Dojitse, attempted suicide this Wednesday as a result of repeated assaults and manhandling by the Chinese police in Lhasa, Tibet. She is said to be in critical condition, sustaining serious injuries to her waist and limb. In one of her videos recorded between Monday to Wednesday this week, Kuki says the Chinese police have locked her up like a prisoner for lawfully trying to meet her brother and deliver letters. According to sources, Kuki travelled to Lhasa to meet her brother and his lawyer this Monday, but the Chinese police wearing plain clothes violently dragged her to the streets, beat and left her with serious injuries. Police further confined her in Yak Hotel against her will, monitoring every movement she took. On Wednesday morning this week, Kuki attempted to leave the hotel, but in vain. Chinese police yet again manhandled and beat her. In desperation and in protest, sources say she attempted suicide by jumping from the 2nd floor of the building. Dojitse, once a successful Tibetan businessman, was arrested during the 2008 protest in Tibet and subjected to months of torture while in detention. In 2010, after a closed trial at the Lhasa Intermediate People's Court, he was sentenced to life imprisonment on fabricated charges of law and fraud. Rights groups consider the case politically motivated. His brother Dojitse received a 6-year prison sentence at the same time and was later released. Since his imprisonment, Dojitse's family has repeatedly sought legal review of the case multiple times and in multiple ways. Around the time of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, the Chinese government has taken extreme measures of intensifying surveillance, restricting movements and communications, gatherings, illegal interrogations, mass detention and deployment of large number of police in monasteries and other areas. These heightened restrictions were visibly seen in Karze Monastery, Tako County, Bazong, Siling, Kirti Monasteries, Kangtsa, Soho Prefecture and Lhasa, the capital city of Tibet. 2 Tibetans were detained in Chensa in Amdo province without reason. Their whereabouts remain unknown till date, raising serious concerns. More than 5 monks or nuns were restrained from gathering in several monasteries, and over 200 Tibetans were interrogated over alleged links to His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday celebration. Chinese police further imposed restrictions on religious practice by forbidding households and monasteries from producing any visible smoke, including the burning of juniper branches, a common daily prayer ritual in Tibet. These performances of intensified measures are a part of a broader pattern of confining religious rights and an attempt on Tibetans inside Tibet to break ties with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The Election Commission of Central Tibetan Administration has issued a statement that the detailed electoral process and dates of the preliminary and final elections of the 2026 Tibetan general elections will be announced after 1st October 2025, that is after the assumption of office by the 2 additional election commissioners. Sigong members of the Central Tibetan Administration has embarked on official visit to Tibetan settlements in Himachal Pradesh, beginning with Tashijong this Wednesday, and the Tibetan settlements in Bir and Chanthara thereafter. Sikyong paid visits to the monasteries, inspected schools, households, primary health care centers and old age home. Sikyong was granted audience with Dai Sudu Rinpoche. At TCB Chontra, Sigong briefly educated the students on Tibet as the water tower of Asia and its role in shaping the future relations amongst Southeast Asian countries. In other gatherings, Sikyong underscored the key issues concerning Tibet, prominent initiatives under the leadership of the 16th Kashak, the status of Sino-Tibet conflict, and the international recognition and global media coverage of the Kodun celebration in Dharamsala on July 6. As per itinerary, Sikyong is scheduled to visit Rivalsar, Pando, Kulu and Mandi in the following days. Last Friday, on 15th August, the Central Tibetan Administration celebrated the 79th Independence Day of India, signifying solidarity with the people of India. The officiating Sikyong, Kalon Changrathalam Dolma, thanked India for their generosity in providing home and safety to the Tibetan people in 1959, when India itself gained independence just 12 years ago and was building their own country.
Capture Yunko, Neta Chabaga, Takami, Bertoni, capture Yunko, Neta Chabagal, Jagar Ranser Randish, Lochungi the Chio Marete, Inaya Jahake, Unetane, France or Pejo Kangi or Kajita Kangamabuti, Yorete, Inaya, Bevala Kafu Mani, Ani, or Jala, Deshoya, Danashi, Bebe Chetan Rishon Kanji Tene, Tap Sungyap Yambala so Jetwate, and Yarashunga Gadi Res, these are Bimi Same Subshude. And Bimi Chixu, and Bimi Be China Ija gave Bimi Same Subshude, and a Gadi Chet to Cheshuai.
The leadership of the Central Tibetan Administration, Sigyong Pemba String, Deputy Speaker Doma Sring Tekang, Tibetan Justice Commissioners Dawa Phungi and Pawa Sring attended the 79th anniversary celebration of India's independence on 15th August at Ludhiana upon the invitation of Tibetan Traders Association of Ludhiana. The event was hosted in honor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and as part of Kodun's Year of Compassion initiative. The event also saw the presence of Jingme Jungne, representative of Bureau of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, Thunup Tsiring, Secretary of the Department of Finance, members of India-Tibet Cooperation Office, leaders of Tibet support groups in India, and other distinguished guests. Sigong, in his address at the gathering, thanked the government of India and the people of India for providing shelter to the Tibetan people when Tibet lost its freedom to China. Since the event is a part of Kodun celebration, Sigong urged India to adopt His Holiness Dalai Lama's commitment of social, emotional and ethical learning into Indian school syllabus and encouraged the entrepreneurs of Ludhiana to use only made-in-India products to make the business self-sustaining in true essence. Subsequently, Doma Sring Tekang, Deputy Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in exile, in her address spoke on how, after fleeing into India in 1959, His Holiness Dalai Lama has given Tibetans a renewed hope of a brighter future by setting up monasteries, schools, and a fully functioning Tibetan government in India. Deputy Speaker thanked the government of India for providing assistance during those difficult times. Prior to that, the Tibetan Justice Commissioners Dawa Phungi and Pawa Sring conducted a 4-day visit to Digiling Tibetan settlement and Ludhiana. At Digiling, they had an interactive engagement with Tibetan local justice commissioners, staff of the Tibetan Circuit Justice Commission, Tibetan community leaders, monastic institutions, and the general public of the settlement. Last week, Kalon Gyari of the Department of Security, Central Tibetan Administration, reinforced Tibet advocacy across New York, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. by securing closed-door meetings with prominent individuals on key matters concerning Tibet. While on the official visit, Kalon attended the opening ceremony of the conference of Thogam Chushikangdu, attended a Kodun celebration, opening ceremony of Jebung Tashi Khomang Monastery's Dharma Center in New York, and a prayer gathering. That is all for this week's edition of Tibet This Week. See you in the next one.